Hey, what's up guys? Nils here and welcome back to another video. So today's topic is going to be discussion on things and changes that I want to see in the game coming out in the next updates in the future and things that I think would be good. Now, as always, you guys can let me know your opinions on the subjects that we're going to talk about or other things that you may have in mind at the same time. So anyway, I don't want to make this video far too long because people are just getting bored, especially when there's no gameplay involved. So I'm just gonna try to briefly talk really fast through everything that I want to talk about, and we're just gonna discuss things. Now, one thing that I want to say before we begin, there is a lot of things that I had in mind, but I don't really want to talk about them right now because I am waiting to see what Tyrub is planning, because apparently he has said on live streams that he appeared that he is planning to make new end game content. So first of all, we have to see that, and especially with the leaks that we have seen for this next update, a lot of new things will be coming to the game. So besides those stuff, I'm just gonna talk about some other things. So anyway, let's begin. Now, first thing that I want to see, a lot of people like to collect stuff. So when you collect stuff, like you see here, I have a whole bunch of secrets from earlier worlds that I farmed. Once upon a time I had every single secret, but I ended up removing them. And the reason that I removed them was to free up my inventory space, because guys, the more stuff you have in your inventory space, it means that the less max opens that you can do, right? So the less stuff you open when you do max open. Now, it would be really cool if you had some sort of a banking system or a vault where you can just literally vault your units and leave them in there. And I don't know how, to a certain extent, how good of an idea this is, but you could technically do the same with items like consumables, TT shards, but then again, that kinda might allow people who dupe and script, etc., to just amplify their earnings even more, so maybe that's not such a good idea. But I think a vault system for units is something that has to be added, because there is simply a lot of people who like to collect stuff. I'm a collector myself, so I would really like to have like a collection stuff. Now, speaking of collections, I would really like to see more so, if this void leak that we saw the other day is true, I would really like to see a collection tab. Something like this basically, or reworked, but where you basically collect like all of the units. Like you guys have seen it in many other games like Pet Sim, for example. And obviously when you collect a certain amount of fighters, you get yourself a reward. Whatever could it be? It could tie it like into the upgrade system here or something. You have these fighters discovered as well here, 226 for me, as you can see. So this is something that could be quite easily be integrated. Next up, another thing that I want to talk about, and I have actually talked about this back in Destiny update, mounts. I think the mount system should change. It's something that is really irrelevant for, I guess, developers / owners, at least from my opinion, and it's something really cool that I think players would appreciate. Now, in my opinion, these badges here and like the mount speed or wherever the hell it is, like they should give you mount speed, and you should be able to use any mount that you want. That would be like pretty cool, because people, you know, it's small things that make the game a tiny bit more interesting. You can still obviously keep like the extra speed on the donated mounts, but yeah, I think that every update and every like quest should give you extra movement speed on your mount, and like you should be able to use whatever mount you want. I think that'll be a very small touch that's pretty cool. Next up, I want to see more upgrades. I think it's about time, and maybe Direct has already planned for this coming update more upgrades. I think maybe we'll get to see more of them. The last time that we had more updates was upgrades rather, not updates, was back in Slimy. So we are talking about, let me see, 18, 27. We're talking about 9 updates ever since the last time we had updates. So I expect that new upgrades are going to be kicking in really soon. Now that's going to be time played, or stars opened, etc., etc. So when that happens, make sure that you are ready, because there will be a big power gap as usual. Like last time, we jumped a lot in power gap in Slime Island, and honestly that was like one of the reasons why room 120 came as fast, because of the upgrades Like damage upgrades are pretty big whenever you get like one of these damage upgrades, so that will be pretty cool. It will be a lot more player power as well. Now, next up, ranks, and obviously it's like tied to gifts. I expect that soon enough we're gonna have new ranks as well after the secret rank. Now, ranks are, here's the thing, ranks are something that I don't think they necessarily should be something like easy. It could be something that could actually like last for a while, and the progression could last for like days or even weeks, I think, especially the harder the ranks get. I think ranks should give upgrades besides just an extra gift for each rank. I really think that upgrades should be tied into it. And now moving on to the next thing, it's one thing or another. Another thing that I would like to see tied to the ranks right here would be auras. I would really like to see auras around people, and people just like, you know, if I am like secret rank or whatever, the next like super rank might be like divine rank. Like, let me have an aura so people, when they see me, they know, you know, this guy, okay, so this guy is good. Even if you don't look at this guy's units, you see his aura and you know, okay, like this guy is super strong. Now, here's the thing as to why maybe this is not a thing, because auras could be used in a different way. Now, I have spoken a little bit about the game and like how the game is like very single dimensional. Now, one thing that I want to see in the future, especially since there is like new end game content coming into the game, I want to see another sort of player power. Like there could be like items that you will farm from the new content, whatever Darb has in mind of creating, where basically it's like you loot the item, you equip it, you get an aura around your character, and it gives you like a 20% attack speed, gives you 20% ultimate damage, gives you 20% DPC like damage, whatever you want to call it. Like auras like this. So auras could also be integrated into the game with these items, and also these items could be a system that you slowly update as well, and like you make these items stronger. And obviously when there's like new updates, every couple of updates there is new of these auras as well, with more damage boosts. But anyway, that's also a system that could potentially be introduced into the game. That's something that would be cool in my opinion. So yeah, I'm not gonna get really into that much because there's a lot of talk about it. Anyway, next up we have passives. I think it's about time that we are gonna be having new passives introduced into the game, and I made a couple of pictures on Photoshop with some ideas that I had. Obviously, Darb is adding new passives every now and then, but these are like some of my ideas that I would like to see. So first up we have multi-strike. Obviously by the name you can tell what it already is. So basically multi-strike is a passive. As you can see, I also made it like a sort of a mythical passive, like rainbow style. I just added the colors because it looked cleaner like this. So the fighter's attacks have a chance to hit 2 additional times. So basically your fighters have an X amount of chance on every attack to hit 3 times instead of 1. I think that would be pretty cool of a passive. At least it sounds pretty cool to me as an idea. Next up we have Mastery, a legendary passive. So instead of just having like increased like damage, like strong 3 or whatever, you could have the same thing for spell damage, ability damage. Basically Mastery just increases your ability damage. Now hear me out, this is not the best idea because of like different units and ultimate like counters. Like some units hit faster than others, so because you ultimate cancel, these units do not get to attack at all. But I'm gonna explain to you in a second, in a little bit, with another idea that I had, how this could actually be a very good passive in the long run. So anyway, moving on to the next, Bloodlust. So this is sort of a team passive. It buffs your team as opposed to buffing your unit, and basically Bloodlust, a unit has it, it releases a battle cry that causes the rest of your team to go on a rampage, which means that your units attack really fast and they end up hitting really hard. Now apparently I have been recording in game, I don't know how to do it. Okay, that was F12, there we go, it's fixed. So anyway, that's Bloodlust. Like every 1 minute or so your unit like goes on rampage, and it makes all of your team like go crazy. You attack really fast and you hit a lot harder. That would be pretty cool, like introducing passives like this where it's like team-wide buffs. It's not exactly like leader. Leader is a team buff for sure, but it's a little bit different, you know. Next up, we have Power Infusion. Now, this is another gut passive that I had in mind. So basically, the fighter has a chance to get infused with celestial powers. Now, the way I had this in my mind was, like, you guys know when you like run into public lobbies and you see a scripter. So basically, when you use like the scripts and you attack, have you noticed that like the unit is casting his ultimate and at the same time it's attacking? So basically, your unit could like go crazy. And again, this is like a buff that procs maybe like once a minute, and like for 10 or 20 seconds your fighter is like he has huge amounts of increased damage, maybe like 50, 60, 100% increased damage, and he's attacking like while casting his ultimate. So that would be pretty cool, something like that. I don't know, maybe this is not the best take that I have had, but yeah, it is what it is. And next up, we have Deep Wounds. Deep Wounds, now this is something that I've seen people like mention before in the past, so it's probably nothing new. So this fighter's attacks cause the target to bleed for an additional X amount of damage. So basically, you take like a portion of your fighter's damage. Like if your fighter does 100q damage on the tooltip, maybe, I don't know how that translates into actual damage when he attacks, but like maybe like 10% of his damage, it's a bleed that like ticks every second, something like that. That could also be pretty cool. And lastly, we have Cleave, which I think is a pretty interesting passive. Now, this could be really good for people who farm solo time trials. And like, for example, you have like Tactical 3, right? Tactical 3 is an amazing passive, but when you play solo, Tactical 3 is really not that good. So Cleave is a passive that will be very good for people that farm TT solo. And basically what it does is that the fighter's attacks cleave on a nearby enemy for like a % amount of your damage that you're doing to your current target. Now, I don't know if this is hard to script. I don't think it would be. I think it's definitely possible to do something like that, and that would be pretty cool. So like you can like attack the boss and at the same time you're just like cleaving like nearby minions on the sides for portion of your main damage. But yeah, anyway, like there is so much stuff that you can do with passives. This is just like some stuff that came to my mind. And now guys, we're gonna go into basically the juice of the video, and this is like ideas that I have that I think that will just take off the game completely. Now, at the same time, there is a drawback to what I'm gonna talk about in a little bit. Maybe sometimes if you like overcomplicate the game loses, and like the game is too complicated, it's too hard for people to get in it. But I don't think it necessarily would be. But anyway, so hear me out. So basically, what is my problem with the game right now, right? Basically, the game right now, if you are on the later stages of the game, is an AFK simulator. I'm just standing in front of an egg and I am opening all day in hopes of getting this guy and maybe this guy, but you don't really want this guy, you really want to get this guy. So I was thinking to myself, how can you fix the single dimensional where people just hunt for the strongest divine and they try to get like 2, 3, 4, 5 of these, right? And the idea that I had, the first idea that I had is there's like 2 ways to actually solve it. So basically what you can do is, for example, right, if you like here, let's take Ninja City for an example, since it's the latest map, right? So basically you could get like team bonuses if you use like 3 or 4 units from one map. Like for example, if I use like 4 units from Ninja City, I would get like a team bonus. I would get like 20, 30, like a shiny secret, a normal secret, a shiny craft. Now this doesn't sound the most appealing, but I think you kind of get the idea. Especially when like a divine fighter is on one of these like updates, it sounds a lot better than it does without, but you kind of get the idea, right? So like if you have like 3 units from a single map, you get like a team bonus and you get like increased damage or something. And then again, I thought about this, like how do you take this into the next level? And this is something that really like completely changes the game, and I think it could end up being insane. Like the game could really take off, and this is maybe AFS could become like probably the most played game. So here's my idea. You could give every fighter a tag, like a family tag, right? So this one could be like, I don't know, red. Let's say like this guy is red, this guy is blue, this guy is yellow, this guy is purple, whatever. And like when you stack fighters of the same family type or color type, I don't know, if you don't want to put them by colors, I guess you can name them like fire, ice, whatever you want to do. So basically, when you stack fighters of the same like group or family or whatever you want to call it, you get bonuses like similar to the previous bonus that I mentioned. You get bonus 20% damage, 30% damage, I don't know. You get attack speed, you get ultimate damage. And then basically you have to get like into the thought process of how do I make like combos with my team that give me insane strength. Now at the same time, this could be cool for like players that are, I think, intermediate as well, because they can like still combine stuff and get more damage out of it, so it's not necessarily that bad. So yeah, I think this is something that could be slowly introduced into the game, and that would be a complete game changer on how the game is played. And if you like put something like this at the same time, combine that with one of like Direb's ideas that he has like for end game content, where there is new content to do, like the game could just pop off insanely much. I don't know. This is like, again, this is an idea that I just thought of on the fly. It's not something that I have sat down to think about, and don't get stuck on numeric values when I say like 20-30%. I don't know, like balancing it's a completely different thing. But yeah, this is just ideas that I have had. But anyway, the video is already far too long, so I'm just gonna end it here. These are just like some stuff that I had in my mind. If you watch this video until the end, let me know in the comments what do you think, if you have any other ideas. But yeah, I think this could be a really cool system, and it would like an insane depth into the game. And this like this sort of answers this shows my answer to the question that people are asking, like, you know, should we make like a AFS 2 at this point? Like, you don't need to make an AFS 2, like you can still have the same game, like you can like slowly change it and like, I don't know, advance the game by adding systems into the game, right? Obviously, you guys cannot expect this thing to happen in a night or in an update. Like, this is a process that will take multiple updates, but yeah, the game can get better. And honestly, I think that the game is doing quite decent lately. I don't know how it is from a business standpoint. I don't know if it still makes a lot of money. That's a different topic, and honestly, I don't care about that. But looking at like the players, I think that the game is doing pretty good right now, because for a while it was actually not doing that good. But yeah, anyway guys, that was pretty much it for this one. As always, if you enjoyed, make sure you click the like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys all on the next one. Take care.